Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again, and radiating love as always. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the full moon lunar eclipse that is going down in a very short 24 hours in Cancer at 20 fucking degrees. Was it even necessary for me to add the fucking in there? Oh well, who fucking cares? Anyways, are y'all ready? Are you ready for your life to change forever? You know, full moons are, of course, a time of release. And Cancer is naturally ruled by the moon. So the moon is in a spot that it likes to be in. But oh crap. Oh snap. What's happening? There's all this opposing energy over here in Capricorn. That's right. We got Jupiter on the south node at 8 degrees. We have the sun, of course, and Mercury is going to be conjunct the sun during this full moon lunar eclipse. And we got the big bad boys of Saturn and Pluto conjunct at 22 degrees of Capricorn. This full moon is surrounded by karmic cleanup. It's surrounded by new karmic seeds and ties that are being made. This is a huge moment. Of course, what is Cancer? This is the cardinal waters. So this is about how we initiate through our emotions, how we take action in many ways through our emotions, how we allow our emotions to guide us. And of course, Cancer is the first moment where we're becoming a little bit more, susceptible to the subtle realities of this reality. The subtle realms and stuff like that. In many ways, it kind of is like this high priestess sort of like energy where you're able to tap in and connect with these otherworldly beings that otherwise we can't really see with our normal eyes. You have to use your third eye, of course. Or not even necessarily that. You can just feel it. Cancers have this ability to just sort of feel what is there. They are the healers, the clerics of the zodiac. A lot of times you'll see Cancer, just like a basic stereotype, is that Cancer will make themselves available to emotionally unavailable people because they think that they can fix them. They think that they can guide them, right? So this is an interesting moment, especially here for humanity, because this full moon lunar eclipse is occurring at 20 degrees. And if we look at the numerology for this is actually a very pure degree. This is actually the purest degree and the highest degree that the Cancer vibration itself can go, because you got 2 plus 0, which reduces to 2. And 2 in numerology is ruled by the moon. So the moon is actually in a position where it really likes to be in, and it's its highest degree that it could possibly be out of the 30 degrees. So that makes this extra potent and extra pure. But what makes this interesting, of course, is that it's a time of release. So what are we releasing? We are releasing these emotional traumas. We are releasing these old patterns spurred by particular emotions that we may have had in the moment. We are releasing, in many ways, the floodgates are being released, in a sense. There's going to be a lot of stuff that you have been holding back that's now going to be released, and it's going to allow you to move forward. I got like a really crazy kind of gross image in my head, but it's sort of like a blister. You've ever had a blister, and it's just like getting bigger and bigger, and then you finally decide to pop it, and all that pus comes out. That's kind of what's going on here. And then when all that pus comes out, you have that extra skin there, and sometimes you try and cut the skin off, whatever like that, so it doesn't form again. That's kind of what's going on. It's kind of a gross description, but, that's kind of what's going on. There's this big bubble that's kind of been blowing up and blowing up and blowing up and blowing up. And the edges of this bubble, the fringe of this bubble has been stressed and stressed and stressed and stressed and stressed and stressed and stressed to the point where it literally can't go any further. And it's going to pop. What's also interesting about this is, of course, that we have Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter in Capricorn. This is the first time that these 3 energies have been in Capricorn for over 700 years. So that already makes this a rather rare alignment and a rare transit, because this does not happen too often. This does not happen too often. We are privy to energies that haven't not been experienced for generations, and this is huge. Especially of course with Mercury here. And what's Capricorn? Capricorn is all about status. It can be about wealth, but it's really about our purpose, society, the way that society sees us, our drive in a sense, And with all these energies here, there is a major restructuring and reforming of the way that society is structured. Especially because, of course, you have Pluto leading the charge right now in Capricorn at 22 degrees. Will be overtaken by Saturn soon, but won't quite happen with this eclipse. Leading me to believe that with this major release, essentially we have this massive fucking transformation with Pluto, where literally Pluto's going to be almost sort of the one that's popping the bubble, and then Saturn's going to be dealing with like the initial flow of it and how to direct the flow and stuff like that, and all the karma that has to deal with what's being released. Then of course you have Mercury, which is going to be it's going to be this communication, this feedback loop of like, okay, all right, so this is what I got to do with this is what I got to do with that. The Sun, of course, is how we're doing it and this sort of illumination. And then of course you got Jupiter in the South Node, which is sort of like, in many ways, sort of like the remnants of, how, like, I'm kind of seeing, when the floodgates kind of release and the water is like pretty much, it's spread as far as it could, and it's sort of like this cleanup. Jupiter's there looking for like the treasure. It's looking for the treasure. It's like, oh snap, I didn't know that this was in that bubble. I didn't know this was in that bubble. And here's the thing. With Jupiter on top of the South Node, we are actually going to be reclaiming gifts from past lives and our childhood that we thought were lost, that we have given up on, that we may have been told were not worthy in the first place. Perhaps there is a goal or a dream that you had when you were younger, or maybe from a past life, that you allowed yourself to be susceptible to certain doubts from yourself and from other people, that you kind of threw it away into this closet. But it's this very closet that's like blowing up, blowing up, blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. Pluto pops it. Saturn directs the flow of it, right? Mercury is like, oh snap, so this is like how we should work with this flow, thinking about, trying to kind of come up with a way to, make some sort of logic out of this in a sense, right? The Sun is going to be sort of like how we're doing it, it's almost going to be like, I'm seeing an individual hopping across stones on a river, whatever like that. But the river, here's the thing though, the tide of the river is becoming larger. So it's sort of like Mercury's telling us to like, yo, hold on, wait, chill out for a second. Don't necessarily hop across the river because those stones are about to be covered by water. And then eventually it overflows, right? And then, this is all very metaphorical the way I'm explaining it. The river overflows, then it settles, and then Jupiter in the South Node is there. It's like, yo, look at these shiny treasures that I did not know was hidden behind that freaking wall, that was hidden behind that bubble that popped. We are reclaiming gifts and powers from our childhood and from past lives. We are reclaiming so much. And realizing that we all are very much so spiritual beings having a human experience within these flesh suits. And these flesh suits that we have, it is definitely, I would say, the greatest technology that we have. We have all kinds of great technology. Like this camera that I'm using, this microphone, this computer, the internet, electric cars, spaceships and all this sort of stuff. But this body, and what it's truly capable of, because we haven't really tapped into what it's truly capable of, is the greatest technology that we have. It really is. At least here in this physical plane. So you're going to feel this even in your body in a sense. You're going to be feeling this. Why? Because Uranus is also moving forward. That's the other thing about this. There's so many transits that are happening around this. You got the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. You have Uranus, which is now going to be direct right after this eclipse. So there's going to be a light bulb that comes on right after this eclipse. It's like the eclipse is going to happen, and then a light bulb is going to go off. That's Uranus and Taurus. and we're probably going to feel it somewhere in our body. And I like to think of Taurus as also the toroidal field. Taurus, like a Taurus where you put energy out and it comes back in. It's going to be sort of like this, where the energy comes out through our crown, and then it's going to circle back around. And then by the time that Uranus comes direct, that's when it's going to be really here at our throat. When the energy is back here at our throat chakra. So the energy is going to like shoot out from our heart, and it's going to come back around, and then it's going to get right to our throat chakra, which is ruled by Taurus, and then a light bulb is going to come on. And we're going to be like, holy shit, this is where we're going to start to want to communicate our value, our truth, our path, and be uncompromisingly ourselves. That's when the light bulb's going to come on. We're going to sort of get it. Makes even more sense if you think about it when you have Mercury, the planet of communication, on top of the sun, which is all about illumination. So there is this spark that's going off here. And it's kind of nice because, Uranus is trining all of this Capricorn energy. So there's a harmonious aspect with it. Even though it's not, it's not exact to really any of the energies here, these energies still flowed through Capricorn, and Uranus is still trining that spot. So there's still some influence here, and it's still very, very powerful. It's kind of hard, honestly, to really capture this eclipse in words that make logical sense, because it's not the most logical energy. Yeah, we have a lot of Capricorn energy, but you got to look at what's here. Not only that, but since some of these alignments that we're having are so rare, we haven't experienced them, we don't really have a lot of the foundation to really explain what's going on, which is why a new foundation is being created. That's why you're seeing all this sort of crazy shit in the news, because this whole new foundation is being created. You're having people who are, of course, you have the whole thing that's going on in Iran. I don't want to get too political here, but you have the whole thing that's going on in Iran, and then you recently had two of the royals, in Great Britain, who are going to declare like independence and want to make their own money, still support the throne, but they want to do their own thing. What? This is insane. You have it this is insane shit. You gotta think Capricorn is the boss. It kind of does rule that sort of energy, And they want to go off and kind of do their own thing and make their own money. That's insane. It's crazy what's going on. But it's not crazy because the stars are aligned the way that they are. And it's destiny. It's meant to happen this way. So, I probably will go live, sometime tomorrow for this, maybe in the morning or maybe in the evening. Probably, maybe sometime around Uranus going direct. I'll go live and I'll talk more about how this is going to affect each sign. This is more just like a general reading, and this is a huge moment this whole weekend. Full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. Uranus coming direct. We have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Now all planets are going to be moving forward. Things are about to pick up in speed. You're about to see things about to pick up in speed. You're about to see things that your imagination be like, yo, what? Like, you just would not have even imagined it. But it's all possible. And really, the incredible amount of healing that is packed into this eclipse is going to be so potent. It's going to be so potent that it's just sort of like, some of you guys may find yourself extra tired. Some of you guys may find yourself getting sick actually around this time, which is interesting because when you get sick, that's actually an indication of healing, that your body is fighting off these pathogens. So it's not, but this is not just happening on a physical level. This is happening on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level. So we got to consider that. Some of you guys may find yourself getting extra tired. Some of you guys may find yourself not really wanting to talk to too many people. Some of you guys may find yourself really just not really wanting to do too much. And this makes sense too. Especially, I really would say that as far as making any major decisions right now, you probably want to wait until the Pluto and Saturn conjunction is like past. You know, I wouldn't do anything right now with these eclipses and with the Uranus going forward and all this sort of stuff. This is a time of deep processing. This is a time of deep processing. I mean, of course, you know, maybe start putting, you know, some of the steps in place to take some major actions. So I believe by the time that we get to the new moon in Aquarius, that's really when things are going to start to pop off even more. But, you know, right now is not necessarily the greatest time to just try and initiate something. Not necessarily. You know, work towards something, obviously. But as far as major decisions right now, this is not necessarily the time that's conducive for it. But don't take my word for it. You can do whatever the fuck you want because you're an infinite spiritual being and anything's possible. You know, I'm just telling you how the transits are working right now and how it's not necessarily conducive for that kind of energy. This is a very deep processing time. And it's okay to take your time with it. It's okay to do your healing. But the other thing I want to point out is that, you know, the threshold and the time to where like we just say like, oh, I need to heal, I need to take time for myself, you know, obviously, how do I put this into words? Hold on. Like, it's always okay to start over or to take time for yourself. It's always okay to do that. But let me spin this kind of metaphorically. Say you fall down and scrape your knee when you're running, and you got to get back up and start running again. The time that you spend on the ground wincing in pain over your scraped knee, it's not like you can't do that indefinitely if you really want to, or it's not like you can't take time to like acknowledge that your knee hurts, but there is this sort of shortening window of how long you can do that and then get back up and run and still make your target. The threshold's becoming shorter. So this is sort of an energy where, yeah, there's a lot of great healing, but there's also this sort of feeling where it's like, hey, you gotta throw some dirt on that wound or spit on that wound, get up, like, you know, tie something around it and keep going again. So it's like, that may seem a bit harsh to some people because it's like, yo, I gotta, you know, everyone wants to like kind of like take their time with it, you know, and go at their own pace, and that's fine. But you're going to get passed up if you stay on the ground for too long. You're going to get passed up. If you're running a race and you fall down and hurt yourself, you're going to get passed up. And if someone's going to achieve what you want to achieve, and then you're going to get to this point where you end up developing, you know, resentment or envy or jealousy. And these are things that you don't really want to experience. You don't really want to experience these things. You know, we all experience these things, but you don't really want to tap too deep into that vibration. It's time to not waste time. It's time to not waste time. You know? I think we can move forward and still heal. I think we can get up and start running again and still be healing even if we're running. We don't have to just sit on the ground wincing in pain over the scrape on our knee forever, you know? So it's like, you know, in Family Guy, when Peter, when he kept falling down that one episode, and he was like, like, you may be able to only do that once, maybe twice, but you can't, if you do it 10 times, like, you're going to get passed up, and you're going to be left in the dust of someone else's trail. But you are a trailblazer. You are a trailblazer, okay? You create your own path and your own journey. So, it's okay. Get back up. Get back up. Get back out there. Do your thing. Do your healing. Take time for yourself. But get back up and get back out there because we need you, beloved. We need you in your power. We need you in your power. I'm going to draw one card. And then we're going to get out of here for this particular iteration for this video, talking about this eclipse. But like I said, I'm probably going to go live as well, because when I go live as well, it's not just going to be about the eclipse. It's going to be about Uranus going forward. It's going to be about the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So, like I said, that'll probably be sometime tomorrow when I do that. But let's go ahead and get a card out and see what we have. So this is a general reading, so, you know, if it resonates, cool. If it doesn't resonate, that's cool as well. You know, just do your own thing. Have your own experience, you know. You don't have to take my word for it. Oh, I love this card. You are not afraid. I think this is the first time I've actually drawn this card in this deck. You are not afraid. Is that David and Goliath? You know, I think we all have Goliaths in our life. You know, we all have different Goliaths in our life. And, you know, it's interesting because he's like, his hands on his head. He's like, holy crap. Like, I'm not even up to this dude's knees. How the heck am I going to surmount this dude? How in the world am I going to overcome this? But it says you are not afraid. You are not afraid, beloved. So any type of worries, fears, anxieties, brush that to the fucking side, okay? That's getting washed away and cleared out. You are not afraid. You can overcome anything. No matter what happens, no matter what the odds may be. No matter what the odds may be. Miracles always happen. Just because something has very, very low odds of happening doesn't mean that it can't happen. It's still a possibility. And if you trust yourself, you trust the process, you believe, you will overcome. You will absolutely overcome. Shoot, all he has to do is go after his fucking Achilles, and he's like right there. All he has to do is take a knife to his Achilles, and Goliath is done. That's all he has to do. You know? So if you have some sort of giant or looming figure over you, whatever, if you have some sort of Goliath in your life, man, and he's just boasting off of his sheer size and strength, whatever, cut his Achilles. Cut his Achilles. He'll turn into a bitch. Just like that. Excuse me. Excuse my language. He'll turn into a wuss. He'll turn into a total wuss. You know, I'm just giving you a little bit of like a, you know, a little bit of a secret as far as that goes anyways. But anyways, like, you don't necessarily need a slingshot and throw it up at the head. Although going for the Achilles is kind of like a, you know, it's kind of like a bitch move, honestly, if I really think about it. But that dude ain't gonna be able to stand anymore. He's gonna collapse. So it's really up to you whether you want to go for the Achilles or you want to take, you know, do the slingshot rock to the middle of the forehead and have it lodged into his brain. But you know what? You do you. You're not afraid. I have no idea where that came from and how I just channeled that and stuff like that. I'm kind of just having fun with it. But hopefully this resonates. If it doesn't, that's fine. If it does, cool. I appreciate all of your continued support, and I will be seeing you all very soon on the next video. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy moving forward and your life transforming forever. And do your healing. Do the best that you can. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the big stuff. Things will take care of itself. Just continue to move forward. Be unapologetically yourself. And just give it your all. Give it your fucking all. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me, Astro Fenixx, in this video. And as always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward. To stay focused. And Yahoo! Smile.